Hey, what's up, Musers? This is John at Muse for You, here to help you build awesome websites without code. And I'm really excited to be doing today's video tutorial. I'm going to be presenting the transitioner widget found at museforyoushop.com. So I'll go over and explain the features of the widget. You can add smooth page transitions to your Adobe Muse website with the transitioner widget from Muse for You. You can choose from 58 plus page transition and customize the transition for page entrance and page exit. So this will give your website like a really cool feeling to it when users are going from page to page, rather than it just loading just quickly. It'll have a nice smooth, and when I say quickly, I mean like without any transition. With the transitioner widget, you can have fade in, fade out, have a page come in from the right to the left or the left to the right. And it's just a lot of fun, and I'll be demonstrating that in this video tutorial. The features include there's 58 plus page transitions. You can set the speed of the in and out transitions. You can apply a unique transition on individual pages or add to the master page for the same transition on all pages. You can add a color overlay for a transition. You can add an image overlay for a transition. You can completely customize the loader for the load time in between transitions. If there's a lot of content on the page, there is a loader, and you can customize that loader with different colors and different styles. It works in responsive design and adaptive design in Adobe Muse, and it works on all devices. And over here to the left, we have the widget options. We have transitions, overlay, and loader here. And here, if I click on the preview page, we can see the widget in action. So here I'm on the home page, and if I click on article, we have a fade out, and then the page has a certain transition. If I click on bio, it zooms out and then kind of zooms in. We click on team, it goes up and then comes in from the left to the right. And if I click on contact, it has a really nice flip in effect. I can click on success and it rotates to the right and then zooms in. So those are those transitions. Then if I click back to shop, we can see it adds the effect when I leave the page. And then if we want to check the preview with overlay transition, I'll click here. And then we can see I've added the Muse for You logo in the words Muse for You for the overlay. And you can add any image or any logo, and you can add any image or any logo to the overlay. So if I click on article, we see the overlay again, and then the overlay has the transition when it leaves. There's the overlay again. There's the team. There's the contact. And there is success there for that tab. So as we can see, it's a lot of fun. For the overlay transitions, you can come in from the top, right, bottom, or left, and you can exit. You can have an entrance from those different directions and an exit from those different directions. So as we can see, it's a lot of fun. It can really add a lot of styling to your Adobe Muse website. And this widget does work on mobile devices. So I have my iPhone 5S right here. And if I just scroll down and I'll click on preview, and here's the same website on mobile. And as we can see, I'm clicking through each of the menu items, and we have the transition on the mobile device. So it does work on all devices. And then I'll click back to shop, and I'll go to the overlay transitions, and there's the transition. I'll click on article, there it is again. Click on bio, there it is again. Team, there it is again. Contact. As we can see, it comes in from different directions and just looks really nice. Okay, so in this video tutorial, we're going to recreate a similar website like this, so I can show you how to use the widget and the different features included in the widget. And to access this widget, you simply go to museforyoushop.com. And then you can click on the pop-up here, and here you can click subscribe to get access to all widgets and any new widgets I come out with for $39 a year. Or if you'd like to subscribe with PayPal, you can click here and subscribe with PayPal. If you'd like to purchase the widget individually, you can click here on the transitioner, the 58 plus page transitions. And here you can click add to cart to purchase individually, or again, you can get access to all widgets and any new widgets I come out with for $39 a year. So I'm going to go ahead and build the website. So I'm going to go to Adobe Muse, I'll go to File, New Site, and then I'll click OK, and I'll double click on the home page. Now the first thing I'm going to do is create 6 different pages and a menu so we can add the page transitions to those pages. So I have a wireframe example here that I got from pixelbuddha.net. It's a great resource website. I'll leave a link to that in the description area below. But here I have some wireframe workflow images that I'm just going to use as sample images for this website. So I'll go ahead and grab this one and I'll just paste into Adobe Muse, and I'll make it 720 pixels wide, just like that. Alright, so there's the first page, and I'll call this page home. I will create a new page and I'll call this, let's see, what did I have in the other one? I had home, article, so we'll say article. Then I'll go into Illustrator and I'll select something that looks like an article. Let's see, right over here. And I'll go into Muse and I'll paste that. Again, I'll make it 720. Just like that. And we'll create another one. I believe it was, let's see. Yeah, see, article, bio, team. So I'll call this bio. Just like that. And we'll select another image. Yeah, I'll select this one here. And we'll paste that in there. And I'll say 720. Okay. And we'll do one more. Okay, so there I have all my pages. I have home, I have article, I have bio, I have team, I have contact, and success. Looks great. So the next thing I'm going to do is add a menu to the master page. So right down here in the master page, I'll double click, and then I'll go to Object, Insert Widget, and I'll select Menu, and then I'll select Horizontal, and I'll click. And here we have the text already in the menu because we've selected for the menu type. We've selected top level pages. You can also choose all pages or manual to create your manual menu, or use all the pages on the website. But here we're using top level pages, so it fills in the menu with the page names. Looks good. So here I'm just going to style the menu a little bit. So I'm going to open up my CC libraries, and I have my colors here. So for the normal state, I'm going to say, for the fill, I'm going to say this dark blue, and for all the other states, I'm going to say this lighter blue here. And for the mouse down as well, we'll set it to a light blue, and for the active, we'll set it to a light blue. Alright, and then for the text, I'm going to change it to Lotto for the text. So I just click in there and change it to Lotto, and looks great. So there I have the menu, and I'll just make it a little bit bigger here, just like that. And if we go back to the pages, we can see that the menu is a little bit too close to the image here. So what I'll do is I'll add some more header space, and I'll say maybe like 120, just like that. So now there's a bit more space between the menu and this image here. And I think I'm going to set the background fill of all the pages to this gray background fill. So I'm just going to sample this color in Illustrator, just like that. And I'll copy, and I'll go into Muse, and then for the browser fill on the master page, I'll set it to that color. So now we have those colors there, and I just think it kind of fits the theme of these workflow images. So now we have all our pages. So if I go to File, Preview Site in Browser, we have the menu up here, and if I click on Article, it brings us to those different pages, just like that. Okay. So now that we have all our different pages, I'm going to add the transitioner widget to all these pages. So the first thing I'm going to do is go to my library panel. If you don't see your library panel, you can just go to Window and click on Library, and that'll bring up the library panel. So here I'll type in transitioner, and here I see the transitioner widget. So all I have to do is click, hold, and drag and place onto my Adobe Muse website. And that's basically it. The widget is actually working with the settings. So if I go to, and yeah, let me show the settings. What's going to happen, the transition in effect is going to be a fade in, and the transition in duration is going to be 1500 milliseconds, which is 1.5 seconds because 1000 milliseconds equals a second. and the transition out effect is going to be fade out. And the transition out duration is going to be 800 milliseconds, which is a little bit less than a second. And the loader, we're going to leave the loader options here just the way it is. And as we can see, the overlay option isn't accessible yet because we're not using an overlay transition, and I'll go over that in this video tutorial. Okay, so now I'll open up the home page. I'll go to File, Preview Site in Browser. And here we have the page. So if I click on Article, we can see it fades out, and then the next page fades in, just like that if I click on each of the menu items. Perfect. So I'll go back into the master page, and I'll just change the settings a little bit so we can play with the different options here. We'll have it rotate in, and then we'll have it flip out X on the X axis. Okay, so now I'll go back and I'll go to File, Preview Site in Browser, and it rotates in, and just like that, each page rotates in and has a flip effect. Perfect. All right, looks good. Yeah, and just to show that, you know, you could put anything on the page, it's going to animate all the elements on the page. So I'll just create a few rectangles here and just paste them just like that. I could have some text, you know, and you know, make it white so we can see it. And I'll go to File, Preview Site in Browser, and we can see all those elements are animating together with the page transition. Okay, looks good. All right, so there we have those elements, and I'll just delete these because we don't need to see these here. So now I'm going to apply transitions on individual pages. So I'm going to delete the transitioner on the master page so it doesn't apply it to all the pages. And I'll go to the first page here. Again, I'll go to the library panel, and I'll type in transitioner, and I'll place the transitioner widget right in here. And I'll just randomly select some effects. So let's say, let's say fade in left. For the out transition, I'll say zoom out. Okay, and then I'll copy this widget, and I'll go to the second page, and I'll just paste it in. And then I'll just change this to something else, so like zoom in large for the transition in effect, and then fade out up for the transition out. Then I'll copy this again and go to the third page and paste. I'm not going to do it for all the pages just to save a little bit of time for this video tutorial, but I'll just change this to flip in X far, or let's try flip in Y, and we'll do fade out right for the transition out effect. Okay, and then I'll go to File, Preview Site in Browser, and there's that. It comes in from that transition, it comes in from the left to the right, then it zooms out, and we have a transition. This one zooms in, and then I'll go to Bio, then it fades in up, and this one flips in Y, and then fades out to the right, just like that. Okay, so as we can see, we can apply the transition to different pages on our website, which is really great. And the last thing I'm going to show is how to add the overlay to the page transitions. So for the transition in effect, I'm going to select overlay slide in top, and for the transition out effect, I'm going to select overlay slide out bottom. And as we can see, when we select an overlay transition, we have the overlay option available. So here I'm going to click enable overlay. We can actually select an overlay color. So here I have it dark blue, and it is working already. So I'll go to File, Preview Page in Browser, and we can see that overlay there. And it comes in from the bottom to the top and from the top to the bottom, just like that. Okay, so as we can see, there's that blue overlay, and we can change the color. Let's say I change it to this light blue here. And if I go to File, Preview Page in Browser, we have a light blue overlay. Perfect. Okay, so let's say we want to add an image to the overlay. So here where it says Select Overlay Image, I can click on Add File, and I'll select this Muse for You background there. And if I go to File, Preview Site in Browser, we now have the Muse for You overlay there. And as we can see, we cannot see the entire logo, and that is because here in the overlay image size, we can set it to fill, and what that will do is we'll take the entire size of the image and fill it within the browser. So it doesn't constrain the image, It just uses the image size and places it within the browser. If we want to cover the entire browser with the image, we'll select cover, and that will constrain the image to the browser width and height. So now if I go to File, Preview Site in Browser, we have the logo there, and we can see it looks a lot nicer because the entire image fills the browser width and height. Okay, so there we have that, and we can also contain the image. So what will happen if I click on Contain? The image will get smaller as the overlay gets smaller. So I'll go to File, Preview Site in Browser, and as we can see, it's using the overlay background color, and the image gets bigger or smaller within the browser and within the overlay. So that can be a lot of fun depending on what you're going for. And I can even, let me go in here and select this, this color here. And I'll go here for the overlay color. I'll change it back to that dark blue. That way the overlay color and the overlay image have the same color. So if I go to File, Preview Site in Browser, we can see it just looks like that overlay color is part of the image because they're the same color. So that logo is just getting smaller when you go to the page. All right, and let me put it on the master page so we can kind of have fun with it a little bit and go to the different pages. So I'll just delete this here, and I'll just add it to the master page, just like that. Okay, and hopefully that was clear. If you have any questions about that, let me know about the different fills for the overlay image. So I'll go to File, Preview Site in Browser, and there we have it. Looks good. So I'll go to all the pages, and we have the logo, and it's right now it's set to contain, so it gets bigger or smaller as the overlay gets bigger or smaller. Perfect. All right, looks great. So the next thing I'll show is styling the loader. So there is a little loader in between the pages. You might not have noticed it because there's not a lot of content on these pages, so there isn't much load time. The browser doesn't need to load many elements, so the little loader, you might not see it because it's very quick, but we can make that loader as large as we want. So here I'm going to make the loader 100 pixels in width and height. I'm going to set the loader thickness to, let's say, 10. The loader color I'll set to light blue, and then the loader opacity we'll leave at 0.2. I'll make it a dashed loader for the loader type, and then the spinner color, we can change the color of the spinner. So I'll make that dark, or let's see, we'll make that white. We'll leave it at white. So we'll leave that at white there, and for the spinner type, we'll leave at solid. So now if I go to File, Preview Site in Browser, and we saw the loader there just for a second, and it looks a bit different. It's styled a little bit differently. So you can kind of catch a glimpse of it as I go through each of the pages. Okay, and I could even set it a little bit differently. Let's make it solid, and we'll leave the loader opacity there to 0.2, and then I'll go to File, Preview Site in Browser, and there we go. We can see that loader just for a second. Looks great. All right, so you can style that loader, and if you do have more content, you will see that loader a bit more, but that is styling the loader there. So that's basically it. And one last thing I'll do is I'll just add 2 different overlays over over 2 different pages. So I have this widget here, and then I'll paste again, and then this one here. And for this one, I'll just say slide out left, and for the transition in, I'll say slide in left, and I'll say slide out right. Okay, so I'll go to File, Preview Site in Browser, and there we have the home. We click on article, comes in from the right to the left, and then the transition out is transition in is from left to right, and transition out is from right to left. Okay, so you can have a lot of fun with these options, and then I'll set it to cover here. Okay, you could even have the entrance in from the top and the exit go out to the right or the left. So I'll do that real quick. So I'll say, I'll say slide out right, and I'll say cover for the overlay image size. So here I'll go to File, Preview Site in Browser, and there it is. Looks good. So there the overlay is covering the or the image is covering, it's filling the entire browser and doesn't get larger or smaller with the overlay. So that's basically it for this video tutorial. Hopefully that was all clear. As you can see, you can do a lot with this widget and add more depth to your page transitions as you go from page to page. If you have any questions, you can ask me in the comment section below. So to get access to this widget, you simply go to museforyoushop.com, and here you can click on the pop-up, and here you can click subscribe to get access to all widgets and any new widgets I come out with for $39 a year. Or if you'd like to use PayPal, you can click here and subscribe with PayPal. If you'd like to purchase the widget individually, it's right here, the transitioner 58 plus page transitions. And here you can click add to cart to purchase individually, or again get access to all widgets and any new widgets I come out with for $39 a year. So that's it for this video tutorial. Again, I do this to help you build awesome websites without code. If you like this video tutorial, you can subscribe below. Also in the show more section below are links to other resources and links to museforyoushop.com. So again, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video tutorial. Thank you.